Good morning guys, it's May the 17th, I'm Henry Green from London Trading Group. I'm just going to run through again what we're looking for in the markets for today's trading session. Okay, so off this back of this push down in the euro dollar, I do like this to still rally back up to potentially this 38 up at 113.55. I think yesterday's close isn't the most bearish close and we have rejected off the 50 once more on the day. So what I'm looking for potentially is this euro to potentially rally back up towards 113.55. However, if we run straight over, then 112.25 remains my target, and I do still like that as a zone. I think if you manage to get up to 113.55, then you're back in towards a sell zone. You're coming up to my custom moving average, which then turns it into a bit more of a sell zone for me, back up here. But certainly a rally into here, and that becomes then the sell zone for me in the euro. Yesterday's buy, as I said, wasn't particularly the most bearish. And it could just have a little bounce up, potentially go and test that 8, which comes in around the same zone on the day as well. So I think 113.55 to 60 is probably quite a good zone for this to be for you to be long up until, and I'm certainly going to be looking for euro up there. Cable, let's have a look at cable. So cable for me, again yesterday we seem to have rallied significantly overnight. I can't really find out what exactly that's about, but does it make sense? Let's have a look. So on the day, it is so not really on the day on the down fibs. We have come back into the buy zone on the day, so this was kind of what we were expecting, but it was showing signs of weakness by breaking this outer trend line on the short side, and all we've done now is snap straight back through it. So for me, this is now potentially a trend line break on the top side, as you can see here. So we did make a new low there, so that's a valid trend line. So if we just make this bigger, let's have a look where we can get to in this one. So we did pull back. We potentially nearly got to the D. I mean, that I wouldn't count that as a D because it didn't quite get. I mean, you could probably call it a D. Let's put it in just in case. And therefore, we are really deep already. But for me, I think that move up is probably going to pull back, and then we're going to go higher again because my overall view on cable is quite bullish. So I think we potentially get a pullback, maybe to test some of the moving averages that we just blasted past, and then we potentially can rally. So let's see if we get a pullback in cable, see if we can go and test those moving averages and then potentially push higher. So I do like that as a potential pullback and then go again. So as soon as we get down back into this zone, back down towards the low 144s, then I think I'll be looking for a buy in this one. Again, 144.30 is a good zone to be looking to be long. All the moving averages come in there. Otherwise, I think a high level of 145.30 is probably a good zone to be looking to take profits, certainly if you're already long, and I'll be looking potentially take a small little short in that one should we get up there and we reject, because I think that's quite a good zone too on the top side. So if we just put the sub fibs in, let's see where we're going on the top side. So if we just put these subs in, so we're at the D now, so this D has been hit and formed, so I do expect to pull back in cable with just a little bit of an overshoot, which is fine. Could rally all the way up to 145. 145.30 is a D as well, and it's the 127. So if we do get that push straight through, I think that's a really good zone to be looking for a potential, as I said, take profit or small short. Otherwise, we get a pull back into the 38, maybe test this 8, and then we go higher again. So that's my plan for cable. Dollar yen's just still stuck in this range again, as we talked about yesterday, between sort of 109.40 and 108.30, and it still really is stuck in there. So I think if you manage to get a rally up to the top side, you've got to be looking for the shorts. Other than that, it's just in a range, so just play it as such, and that's how I've got to play it. So if we manage to get up there, look for a false break out the top side, and I think that's probably quite an easy sell. I do still expect it to manage to get back down to 107.75, and it could be quite a long way down there if you get it up sort of 109.40. So for the last 6 days now, we have been going sideways, just stuck in this range, so just be wary of that. And therefore you've got to play it as a range. So certainly I wouldn't, until it actually properly breaks out and shows me that it wants to break out. I'm not going to be looking for longs. I'm looking for that break back in and then to sell it. So I think that's quite a good plan in dollar yen. The pullback hasn't been deep at all, so what we look for is an overextended D. So I look for this to go through 110, which seems quite likely because of this build up of momentum that we're kind of storing by going sideways. Dollar CAD's an interesting one because it looked like we were potentially going to start to break higher. We then had a one pullback day, and we kind of had a second one now. We're down at the 21 moving average again, the one that this market doesn't like. So if we manage to hold down here again, then I think this could potentially rally once more, resume its upward, well, sure, a small term upwards trend, and then potentially we go higher. So at the moment, the D target leads us up towards 130. I think that's probably quite a good level. got to go through the outer trend line to get there, so that's fine. But as long as this doesn't take this low out, so as long as we don't go through 127.70, I think probably for dollar CAD I'm still going to be looking for the top side. One thing it looks like you could probably do here is replicate this angle, because it looks quite similar. So if you put that angle in, this market likes to trade on angles as well. So yeah, as you can see, this is the market angle at the moment, and a close through that kind of leads us higher, and I do like that idea in dollar CAD. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. What you could probably do is make that a little bit tighter just to the closes. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe you could have it like that. So if we just put that on the closes, yeah, okay, so that one's working well as well. I see as well. Okay, cool. So a couple of those, but a break anyway, certainly through that, then we lead to the top side in dollar CAD. So that's probably my idea for that one. Again, if you're going to buy it, it's got to be around this area. This is the only reason why I've got it to hold here. You've got the 21 moving average coming in on the day, which this, as I said, this market has rejected off every single time it's failed to close below it. So you've got to imagine that it's going to do the same once more. We still are in this upfib, in my opinion, because it's going to be an overshooting one. So all I'm waiting for this one is to get through here, through 130 up towards 130.60, which will then be an official hit on the D. Aussie dollar, we have broken that outer trend line once more. We drizzled through and then pushed higher. So as expected, it kind of made sense that because of the shallow pullback, you had an overextended D. So we have finally hit that now after that move overnight, and we are all the way back down here now. Put that in. So the 38 leads us back to 73.30. If this is a fast move, and I don't expect it to do that, 73.30. Okay, I've got a level at 73.30, so we could get back there, and if we do, I think that's probably quite a good buy zone. And you just got to be brave and potentially look for just that initial buy there, because Aussie seems to be rallying. I think long term we're back in the buy zone anyway, so I would like to see Aussie rally. We didn't quite get down to the level that I thought, but certainly I think a move back towards 74.50 is quite easy, and it's just a case of how we're going to get there. So if we do get this small pullback, maybe test this 8 and then go, overextended D leads us back towards that level. So again, that's what I'm going to be looking for. We failed to close above the 200, so just be wary of that, but certainly at the moment I'm going to be looking for a pullback in Aussie dollar to potentially then go higher. Kiwi. Okay, the Kiwi is pretty choppy as well. We're kind of in a range in that one between 68.50 and 67.50, so 100 pip range in the Kiwi dollar, and at the moment we're just bang in the middle of that. So as I zoom out, you'll see that. So unfortunately, there's not much to see in this one. We're at kind of at the top of the short-term range. You could probably say we have pulled back to the D, so this could now lead us back up towards 69. But again, for that to happen, you've got to go through 68.50, which at the moment seems to be holding strong. So to get through there, the pullback's complete, and now we just need to see if we can round off here, potentially then go higher. So if you wanted to be a buyer of this one, yesterday's buy, how does it look? Yeah, okay, you're running into a bit of resistance on the day in terms of the moving average. We don't seem to like that 50, certainly not at the moment, and that one looks like it's holding still. So we are back in the buy zone on the weekly charts. Potentially this week it does go higher, but it's just a case of when and how, and making sure that you're in at the right place. So again, for me, this isn't a setup yet. I want to see a nice formation for this to then go higher, and at the moment I haven't got one. So Kiwi, I think I'm just going to leave alone for the moment. It looks like there's a little bit more clear in euro. I think that looks quite a clear graph at the moment. Cable, I like a pullback and then go higher. Dollar yen, I think, as I said, just play it as a range. Dollar CAD, I do like higher. Aussie, I think you get a pullback and then we push higher, and the Kiwi looks a bit messy. So using those in terms of finding out your strength and weakness, I think that should be the best outcome for today. Okay guys, I hope that's been useful. I'll be back tomorrow with another market update. Click subscribe to never miss a video again, and happy trading for today. Thanks very much for listening.